Well, we're live.
We're live.
We're having.
We see someone. There's Jamie.
See, I don't see anybody yet. We're having a little bit of
Okay.
a technical issue about making this come back up. I'm not seeing the chatters, and I am not seeing the comments. There we go. There's the comments. I finally got that back. Okay. Thanks for showing up, Jamie.
Okay, I'm in. I can do comments. Yay.
All right. So what we're doing today is talking about Trump, because I've been watching the polls, and I know that's a mistake. Everybody says don't pay any attention to the polls, but I'm thinking it's in my face every time I go onto
Yes.
MSN, and it's the internet. It's just these polls just keep coming up, and of course now that we're getting closer and closer, there's more and more polls. One poll says Trump's winning, the other poll says no, Harris is winning. Excuse me. So I just decided, I want to talk to all my Republican friends, which they probably will never come on this channel. So, because everybody that is on here is into Democrats. But I just wanted to bring up, for those people that might have missed it or forgot about what Trump is all about, that's what I'm here for today. That's what I'm discussing. So, and like I said, the polls, a lot of people are calling them junk polls because they're just not very accurate, because the way the polls have been taken, you don't know if you don't know who you're dealing with, but you don't know if it's prominently Republican, prominently Democrat. And if you go back to 2022, the polls really were, they had the remember it was a big red wave for the Republicans, and that never ever happened.
Yes.
But if you would have paid attention to those polls, that's what it said, that the Republicans were just gonna mop up
off the floor with us. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to bring up some things from the past of what was happening in 2020, and why did everybody vote for Biden and not Trump in 2020? So
And something else about 2020 is I keep wondering about is there were Republicans voting for Biden. There were people crossing the line, and it was a big deal. And nobody's talking about that. I don't know if they're just trying to be polite and not, like take the shine off Kamala, but there was not as much as this time and not as loud and proud as this time. But don't you remember that? There were Republicans who were voting for Biden and making it known. So I don't know. I don't know why they're not.
Well, because the Republican Party is ready to implode. It's almost there. They're having a really difficult time. And so when you see stuff where, I just saw that knucklehead, the speaker, Johnson.
Yeah.
I saw him on Meet the Press, and he was like talking about how Trump was going to win. So he didn't really have to answer all these other questions that were irrelevant because Trump was going to win, and that's all they wanted to talk about. And I'm thinking, well, everybody thinks that Trump is not going to win, but then if you go by the polls, why are the polls so close? That's what made me go back in time and say, well, what was being said in 2020? For one thing, one of Biden's slogans in 2020 was truth, hope, and decency. Return respect and dignity to America. Well, and that's exactly what we had to do. So what was Trump doing? He was, okay, let's talk about the pandemic and the panic that we all felt. I mean, I just remember when it first started happening, I thought, what is this? Is so new. We'd never in my lifetime experienced something like this. And then I thought, there was no masks at the beginning. We were scared to death. I'm from Washington State. Washington State happened to have the very first cases that we knew of at the time. And it was really right next door to me, up in Everett. And the guy had come back from China, and he was younger. And they put him in like a barometric chamber, like he was just in this big enclosed chamber. The only way people could get to him was putting their hands through this, like like he was radioactive or something. But anyway, he did survive that. But it was real scary. And I remember going to a what are those called? Those clinics, the walk-in clinics.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing they asked me is, have you been traveling to China? And I'm like, China? No, I just came back from Pluto. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So anyway, when I realized that that Trump was going to be no help at all, then it really, really scared me, because he didn't. When I found out he threw out the book, the thing that said here's what to do in a pandemic, and that he'd fired all the doctors, and then over time all the things he was coming up with. Does everybody remember just how scary that was and how weird that was? I mean, it was just it was bad enough in the first place, but then you've got the person that's supposed to be leading the country doing just crazy weird things. Again, in Washington State, which he initially did, was threaten not to give us any ventilators.
Yes, I remember that.
And I'm like, what? And the reason being is because he did not like Governor Inslee. Why didn't he like him? Because Governor Inslee also ran for president. He didn't get very far with it, and I'm glad he didn't, because he's just a great governor. And he was calling our governor a snake, and telling him, you're not going to get any ventilators. You're not going to get nothing.
Oh, yeah. Trump was really showing his stripes when COVID hit. He just turned into this vindictive, venomous creature, right before our eyes. Not that we didn't know he was already like that, but we didn't think that he would readily show his ass like that to the whole country. And he made no bones about it. I mean, just no bones. But I read something or heard something. I was
just going to say that in the end, he did give the ventilators, but he just throws this crap out to scare the shit out of everybody, and it worked. Mm-hmm. And then we did get the ventilators. We also got tents that were put up in the stadiums so that, because we thought we weren't going to have enough room in the hospitals. Mm-hmm. As soon as our governor Inslee found out that no, we didn't really need those, he packed them up and sent them to wherever I think they went to California, because California did need them.
Yeah.
So, what were you going to say?
So something that I heard today on a show about polls, about polling and polls, was that the Harris campaign also, now Trump wants his polls to be great, right? He wants to convince everybody that it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to win. And so Trump wants the whole polls to be as high as possible for him. But Kamala does not want the polls to be as high as possible for her. What's that?
She wants to be the underdog.
She wants to be the underdog. And she also is afraid that if the polls show her too far ahead, people won't go out and vote, and they will take it for granted, and we won't have as many voters. So I think that there is some manipulation, maybe even jerry-rigging on both sides. I think that Trump's help is coming from entities outside of this country. I'll just leave it at that. But I think for Kamala, I don't know how they're doing it or whatever, but the mainstream media is definitely in on the joke. They're definitely in on the joke.
Oh yeah, depending on, if you've got a certain, was it you that told me a long time ago that a lot of these networks are kind of Republican owned?
Yeah, they are all Republican owned.
And so they for a while there, they just threw out all this great stuff about Trump. And, Trump's been campaigning for 3.5 years. Kamala Harris has been campaigning for what, about 2 months? So, and what she said, that's real smart to say that, because she wants everybody to stay on top of this. It's just so critical right now to have, everything blue. So anyway, I'm looking through this 2020 thing and seeing that one thing that somebody said is that they said they were not voting for, or they said they are voting for Biden at the time because they weren't okay with 18,000 lies from any president. So I figured at 18,000 lies for 4 years, that's 12 lies every day for 4 years. Those lies have gone up through the last 3.5 years, up to over 30,000 lies from Trump. I mean, this man, he can't tell the truth to save his life. So that's the other thing I want to tell my Republican friends, that you're listening to a lot of lies. So of course you're confused and you think that because Trump tells you, that Biden did a terrible job, and now Kamala Harris, she's also a part of that because she's the vice president, that they are just destroying our country and just the craziest things. When getting back to that pandemic, we would not be nearly in this good a shape as we're in. We're one of the top countries that is kind of we've almost overcome inflation. And we got back to work, and we got things moving again faster than most other countries. So that all came about from Biden. Then they're also trying to say, well, if you vote Kamala Harris, you're voting for Biden. It's the same policies, the same things. And I'm thinking, yeah, his policies work great.
Yeah, that's like a big bonus. Like, how stupid are you to want to go against that? That is like really dumb.
So the other thing Trump did was he was ignoring climate change, which you see what's going on down in the southern states and up along the East Coast with the hurricanes and tornadoes and just this wicked weather that's just people are dying. And we're talking, it's just crazy the way and the reason it's so extreme is because of climate change.
Yeah.
And, one thing the Biden administration wants to do is have more electric cars and kind of go in that direction, in any direction, to try to correct the problem. We're polluting the air, we're polluting the ocean. We're just, we're in a hell of a mess when it comes to that. What does Trump want to do? He wants to eliminate everything. He wants to have there be more drilling for oil and gas, because he's going to need it for his gas-driven cars. This is not the way of the future. Just not even a good thing to do.
I wonder how he's going to feel when Mar-a-Lago is underwater.
Well, and it should be coming close to that. I mean, he's in an area that should have something like that could happen. He would just say, and all Republicans would just say, well, this just happens. This is just a natural thing.
Yeah, get over it. It's just life. Yeah. But they are saying that it's a pretty sure bet that there's going to be a third hurricane hitting Florida, that they're not out of the woods.
Oh yeah.
And when that happens,
hurricane season is not over.
No, it's not over. And who says that hurricane season is just going to be what we think it is? Hurricanes come at all times now. Any time of year you could get a tornado or a hurricane. There's not much of a season to it. When you're getting tornadoes and hurricanes in New Jersey,
right?
I mean, we got Hurricane Irene in 2011, the year I bought my house. And 3 months after I moved in, I had water all the way up to the ceiling in my basement.
Wow.
My basement was filled with all the stuff from Mom and from Uncle Charlie, They were floating like bathtub toys in my basement. And I haven't like done anything to the walls. You can still see when you go down the stairs in my basement, you can still see on the sheetrock going around and closing the stairwell. You can see the line where the water came up to. It was within 2 inches of my living room floor.
Wow. Wow. Well, see, this is the crazy kind of climate stuff I'm talking about. And this is the kind of stuff that Trump is going to ignore. So that's just another thing that he's done. The other thing that this article had talked about was that the president hides his taxes. Now, what happened with that? All of the problems that Trump has legally right now all stems from his lies, his constant lies. He lied about the value of his property. He lied about his income tax.
Mm-hmm.
He lied about raping somebody in a department store dressing room. And he's being charged for these things, and he's saying they're politically motivated. I just want the people that are voting for Trump to realize that that's not politically motivated. This is you want to put somebody into office that is a felon, a liar, a con man, a rapist, so many negative things that I just can't even imagine what that would be like. I mean, it was terrible for the time that he was in, but now that we know all this stuff, plus also for people that look back and go, how did Trump handle certain things like with Hillary Clinton? Now we know that everything he said about Hillary Clinton and locking her up, and that she did something with the emails, and she was, just all the junk and lies that he said about her was a lie. It was not true. She never did the things that he claims she did. And he used that, if you'll recall, right before the election, he slammed her with that stuff.
Yep. Well, and James Comey didn't help. James Comey coming out with the renewal of the investigation, that was a nail in the coffin. And I'm wondering if James Comey wasn't somehow stimulated to do that by something that was an action on Trump's part, or somebody within the FBI or something.
Paid. A lot of people get paid for doing this stuff.
Yeah.
The other thing he did in 2020 when Trump lost the election was people were interested about his unhinged daily tweets. They were so sick of it.
Yes.
We are to this day now totally it's not tweets anymore. It's his Truth Social thing. And in the meantime, he panders to racists and bigots and dictators, to Putin and to Kim Jong or Kim Un Yang. What the hell? Rocket Man. That guy. I can never remember his name. But anyway, he panders to those people. And now, what did we just find out about? Trump sent Putin COVID tests a long time ago, way in the beginning, when we finally had tests. He sent them to Russia. That's for us, and that's for other countries that are trying to survive, not for Russia. Russia is its own thing. So anyway, he did that, and then throughout his time in the White House, it was just nothing but constant chaos and instability.
Yep.
That's what it's been for the last 3.5 years as well. I mean, it just hangs on there. Why would anybody want this guy in the White House? I don't get it. I don't get why the polls could possibly be as close as they claim they are, because of all the ridiculousness that Trump does. And the other thing is, he's talking about today his economy, how he's going to change the economy and make everything better for everybody. And they figured out right off the bat that whatever Trump is trying to do is going to cost us, we'll go into the national debt, going to cost us millions or billions of dollars. Yep. And why is that? Because he is, again, which, by the way, when he left office, he had the highest deficit of any president in history.
And he had added the most to the deficit of any president in history.
Right. He added that to the.
And that was without a war. Without having to go into a war, he still managed to cost us all those billions of dollars.
The reason being because he would not tax fairly. He took the tax away from the people that could afford it, the richest people.
Oh, don't I know it? My goddamn taxes are still hurting from it. Last year, this last tax return was the first year since Trump's been in office that I was able to actually get a refund on stuff for between my personal and my business. In those 6 years or whatever, no, nothing. And it hurts. It really hurts.
But that's what he wants to continue to do.
Yeah.
And I know they keep saying this, and I'm thinking, what are the Trumpsters not hearing? They are going to get screwed just as much as everybody else. This man, Trump, is not saving anything for anybody, and he's going to hurt and ruin Social Security and Medicare. I mean, it's just so important not to have him in office.
And the only thing that I can think of as far as people still believing that they should vote for him is that it's a cult. They're just, they somehow at some point in time, they really bought into him. Yeah, they're brainwashed. Yeah. It is a cult. Now, are all of them in a cult? No, because we keep hearing stories on places like, Midas Touch. And even the Bulwark, you're hearing stories about MAGAs that are coming over to normalcy. Yeah, I saw that. That's outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know about this one yet, but
Well, note the words Trump's rally in Coachella. He goes to Coachella, he busses in his own people to come and watch him at the rally because he knows the people at Coachella are not going to pay any attention to him. So he buses people in and then just leaves them stranded in the desert.
perfect.
Are you kidding me?
And trust me, those people are still going to be looking around like they still like Trump.
Yeah, they're gonna be mad at Coachella or something, and not Trump.
I love this. He is despicable. I'm trying to kind of keep up with the chat section, but
I'm watching it too. But I don't have the ability to put their stuff up on screen, so I have to wait for you for that. Oh my gosh. Well, Brian Tyler Cohen is on it about the Trump fans reaching a breaking point. I don't want to start it because it'll start the YouTube video on it. Trump stops speech at Coachella rally. There's one. Oh, I got to look at these. I just, he's so nauseating. I don't really click on stuff like that. But, he's.
But yeah, his little followers are trying to say it was suspicious, but not blaming Trump at all. And that's the way this keeps happening. It is just such a. It's just so unfortunate. And I just keep thinking, why in the hell can't these people see what is going on? And, like, I know the polls probably aren't true, but what if they are? Well, how could it be that close that this is the man with 34 felony convictions? You want to put a felon in the White House, and then all the other things that go along with it. He wants to be a dictator. He wants to destroy Social Security and Medicare because it costs too much. And if he gets rid of that, then he doesn't have to worry about the fact that he's not taking enough money from the rich people.
Yeah, and that, sad with all of this because, Trump is really literally shooting himself in the foot with all of his actions because he's literally killing his base. He is taking actions that cause them to die. COVID, he caused people to die. He told people to
the latest hurricanes where these people are stuck.
Yes.
He's telling people that Kamala Harris is interfering with FEMA. I mean, it's just unconscionable.
The eating cats and dogs in Ohio,
Well, that one
that's
too.
that's causing people great harm because there's death threats against these people. And it doesn't matter if you're Haitian or not. If you're just any person of color, you're getting the death threats. You're being followed. They had to close the schools down. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And now this stuff that he's telling, dragging people out to Coachella and then abandoning them, and they are having, like I just what did somebody just wrote that there were elderly people. Yeah, there were elderly who were supposed to walk 2 hours to get back to their cars. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's causing death wherever he goes.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is.
we're lucky that lucky. I think we're lucky that all those 24 women who have accused him of sexually molesting them or attacking them, we're lucky that one of them hasn't tried to hurt themselves in some way, because that is the result of people who are really upset and depressed about things and
Well,
scared.
those people have come out now and are saying more about what happened to them. And
That's good.
I don't know if it was part of an ad or if it was just part of a show about what they've been through. But I mean, the stuff he does, where he just, even with his wife standing around,
Yeah.
would come after these women and just start trying to kiss them. Well, at first I thought that's ridiculous, but if you go back to the bus interview where he said
Mhm.
that you could grab them by the private parts, he also said you can just kiss them; they don't care.
I'm
And I'm
gonna take a few kid Tic Tacs because when I see a beautiful woman, I just start kissing. I just kiss. I can't help myself. What are you, 3? I mean, God, you are an 80-year-old man. You have no goddamn control over yourself whatsoever. Or is it that you just don't adhere to social norms in any way, shape, or form? I mean, but see, for the people who are in his cult, how many people do you think that's more than 50 people in his cult?
there is a lot of people in their cult. That's the problem. That's why I'm doing this show. There is a lot of people,
Yeah,
and I
he's
suppose I'm
probably
not going
right.
to change their mind, but I hope. And I know that there's a lot of Republicans that are joining different groups, Republicans against Trump and that kind of thing.
A
And
lot, yeah.
you see what Liz Cheney did, and her dad,
Mhm.
that there's a lot of people forming groups and turning against Trump because they see it. They know that this is
Yes.
not right.
The latest group that I just heard about is called Hombres for Kamala, and it's all Latino men because they felt like that was a group that, they've had it. They're fed up with it. Yeah, there's many, 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 many people who are usually voting Republican who are now gonna vote for Kamala, but we don't know if that's enough.
That's right. We don't know if it's enough.
Yeah.
And if, the biggest difference is in the electoral states that's kind of decide who wins.
Mhm.
Um, I know that on a psychic level, and I'm in agreement with all the psychics on here. I get the exact same thing, that not only is Kamala going to win, but it's going to be a landslide. And in my thinking, it almost has to be, because we know that if Trump doesn't win, he is going to he's going to go nuts. He's going to start civil war, or I don't know exactly what he thinks he's going to do, but I know he's going to try to pull something to make it look like, see, they did it again. And so now we have to, I don't know what we have to do. What, you're going
I
to go?
I can't remember what I was watching, but somebody like 5 Minute News guy, that Anthony Davis, he's real good. And then there was I've been in my feed, I've been getting a lot of the shows from the Bulwark, but somebody was interviewing someone connected to CIA or FBI, and they were saying that they are planning so much that the chatter with the militia groups and these people like the Peanut Butter Boys, like, the Oath Creepers and the whatever the other stupid people are, because a lot of them are in jail. So I think they wanted to just, form new groups. But they are definitely planning things, and the FBI and CIA have their eyes on them because they're getting funding from outside of this country.
Right. Yeah.
And that is not bueno. That is no bueno for us. That's really
Well,
bad. But
those,
I have always said, and this is an old prediction, but that there would be skirmishes on around the country, like at multiple sites. And I think their strategy now is don't go straight to the capital because they'll be watching there, but do it in a million places out, a million town halls and places where they do the certification statewide for their votes, like disrupt all of those. And then those places can't even get their votes certified. So I think that's kind of the
well,
strategy that they're going
they
for.
want to do election interference,
Hmm.
but when you're talking about outside foreign interference, those people are in our country. They are involved in this. They're in with everybody else and trying to make it look like we're just regular old Americans, but we're going to get Trump in there. Plus, the other thing that has come up just very recently is it Iran that wants to assassinate Trump?
Yes, they have a hit out on him.
And so um, I had a really bad feeling about that.
Well, they said at this Coachella thing too that this was a possible third assassination attempt on former President Trump was thwarted near his rally in the Coachella Valley Saturday, according to Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. The suspect has been identified as 49-year-old Vem Miller of Las Vegas. And yeah, so Trump will play on that too. But the thing is that he's getting dangerously close to also losing his own life.
Yeah.
I mean, either by his brain exploding or somebody taking a shot, I think. I mean, that's not good. That's really not
No,
good. But
no. And I mean, I hate to say that kind of stuff, but I have a real
terrible feeling, right?
I do. It's a really bad.
I don't have a good feeling about right after the election either. I do think it's going to be a little bit scary for a couple of weeks.
So, I mean, when you guys, I know that Colleen has talked about this, and Susan Lynn, and
Mhm.
maybe Linda G. I don't know, but you guys have talked about, that he's going to get sick, or he's going to have a heart attack, or he's going to have a stroke, or he's going to have something like that. And I'm wondering, when you keep saying something's going to explode in his head, I'm wondering if you're actually seeing a bullet. I mean,
Oh,
with Iran, they're really pissed off because Trump's when he was in office, I think he killed somebody that
yes, one of their big leaders.
one of their big leaders. So they want to come back and get him. They don't play the same game at this as your run of the mill person that's just dissatisfied with Trump and wants
No,
to shoot him.
no,
There's
no.
all kinds of different ways that they can do this, and they can be very successful. I mean, I'm seeing poisoning and different ways to get to him. That it would be somebody that has gained their trust
I mean,
to
the
be
way
able.
the security is at Mar-a-Lago, it would be so easy for a sniper to set up something so that through a window at the ballroom, they just take him out.
And that could
So
happen
easy.
too. That could happen too. And because I got a feeling that the people that try to do these kind of things from Iran, they don't really care if they get caught.
Well, what are we going to do to Iran? Start a war? They're already doing everything in the world to start wars. So,
Well, I mean, I don't think, they're thinking that if just as long as they got the mission accomplished,
yeah,
they're
because
like they're like a kamikaze pilot.
yeah, well, that will, secure them a place in heaven with 1,000 virgins. So,
There we
they
go.
don't care.
So yeah, I do get a bad feeling about this because we've been talking since last year about the possibility of something happening to him. right before the election. That's now.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen, but yeah, I mean, stuff keeps coming to me about this, and I'm like, no, 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 that's not what I want. And they're like, no, 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 this doesn't have anything to do with you. I'm like, no, wait a minute. I just, I really want him to lose, because Kamala Harris won. I mean, because she got the most votes, because the American public supports Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And I see where they're trying to bring up some more stuff about Tim Walz, that he did something wrong, or
The
some.
only thing they could nail him on, it was at the vice presidential debate, is that he misspoke when he was talking about his visits to China. That during the Tiananmen Square event, I guess I'll call it, that he misspoke and said that he was at Tiananmen Square. Well, he did arrange for lots of people to go to China during that period of time, but he was there a couple of months after that actual event. And it was just in the heat of the moment, he was just saying, that he started this thing and he took groups to China so that they could see what, a non-democratic thing was. And that, then I need to buy one of those Trump coins quick. Yeah. Yeah, you do. You do. Oh, no, but they'll be selling that crap long after he's dead. So no worries, fun boy. It'll still be there. But that's the worst that they can do, is that Tim Walz misspoke. And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you
Well,
cannot.
there's something out there right now about a high school thing or something, that they're mad at him for something.
Please.
I'm thinking, oh, brother,
Oh, please.
I really like Tim Waltz. But that other guy's scary, that JD Vance.
Oh, he's very scary.
He's worse than Trump.
He's worse than Trump.
He's younger, and the whole project 2025. Who's the oh shoot, I can't remember the people that support that. The people
The
that
Heritage Foundation.
Heritage Foundation. They have JD Vance in their pocket. I mean, they are the ones sure.
Well, you know why? Because Peter Thiel, who is JD Vance's godfather, I guess. I think they're more than that. I think they're probably lovers. But if they came out with that, after they win if they won the election, they would have to assassinate Peter Thiel because they don't believe in gay people. So, that wouldn't go over very well. But yeah, Peter Thiel has made Vance's jobs possible ever since and I think even his entree into, was it Harvard or Yale? Harvard, I think. All of those things in his life have been made possible by Peter Thiel. And the irony is that they don't agree with a gay lifestyle. So I guess he has to be closeted. But Vance, I said this from the beginning when he picked Vance. Vance, and maybe it's not just Vance, maybe it's more Peter Thiel, has his eye on taking Trump out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the whole idea. They think that Trump can win and will win, but once they got him in there, they'll be like, "No, you're too old."
Was the first assassination attempt after Vance had been chosen, or before?
I think it was after.
Yeah,
the guy in the bushes in the golf course. And what happened to that guy? We never heard any more about it.
Oh, who knows? They're all Republicans. Even this guy from Coachella is a registered Republican. So, oh God. I think it's Vance and Peter Thiel trying to take him out. I think he has to look under the bed, Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump, if you're listening to this show, which I'm absolutely 100% certain that you are, please be careful. JD and his eyeliner are coming for you.
Well, but no, they are. They really are. They've got this all set up and planned and ready to go. And now that, they think that JD Vance did such a good job in his debate. He was so smooth. He didn't do a good job. He lied about everything, and he never would admit that the 2020 election was won by Biden. And that's where Trump's at too. I mean, they just stick with that because that is their justification to do all this other stuff, to lie, to tell you, things that are just absolutely not true about the Biden administration.
Mhm.
And then I love it when they say, "Were you better off now than you were 4 years ago?" Is that the way it goes? Or
Yeah.
is it the other way around? And anyway, I'm looking back on it thinking, yeah, quite a bit better. I
Quite
mean,
a bit better.
we were
Much better.
we were
Yeah.
in the middle
And
of a
the
pandemic. Uh,
yep. And the
people
thing
were
about
losing their businesses.
mhm.
We couldn't get toilet paper. Um, we couldn't get, we didn't
Yeah.
have any vaccines.
We
We
couldn't
couldn't
get
get
we couldn't
gas.
get
We couldn't get
Lysol. We couldn't get Lysol to spray on
or
things.
black
We
light
could
up our ass.
Clorox? Nowhere to be found. He's saying inject the bleach. I'm like, how? There's none on the grocery shelves.
I mean, it's just amazing
Yeah,
that they even
amazing.
ask such a question, and then they try to say, "Well, you're not, and that's because of Biden." I'm thinking, no, we are, and that is because of Biden. We
Well,
would
did
not be in
you hear
Detroit today.
that thing in Detroit where Trump was saying, oh, Detroit. He didn't even know he was in Detroit. He said, if you guys elect her, man, every town in America is going to be like Detroit. And this was two people in Detroit. And they're like, and your point is? Because Detroit is experiencing a renaissance. So Tim Walz in his speech, it was like the next day or something, and he's saying, I guess Trump doesn't realize that Detroit is really doing okay. It's coming up in the world. And that same day, Kamala released the commercial with a voiceover by, I mean, it sounds like, I hate to be stereotypical, but it did sound like the stereotypical old black man doing the voiceover. And he's saying, Trump should be so lucky to experience Detroit. I can't remember what the tagline was, but it was something, it was just delivered so well because being like Detroit, that would be outstanding for any town in America to
But
experience
the
that.
way Trump said that, it was almost like he forgot that that's where he was.
He did forget where he was. He does that routinely. That's just one of many things that he has a problem with. If you listen to the show Shrinking Trump, they now have instituted a new feature called the weekly aphasia, where they point out Trump's weekly um, uh, things he screws up in his speeches. And it's really telling. It's like it used to be like one or two a week. Now they have to make room for like 10 because this is on a daily basis. Trump cannot keep it together. I don't know how he's going to make it to. I don't know how he's going to make it to the election. And I
So
think that makes Mr. Vance happy.
once again, how in the world is it that the polls are so close? Now they're saying it's like 48% Harris, 48% Trump.
Do you see Mary Spirit's comment in the comments right there at the bottom? 7:45.
Hold on, I'm getting it. Is this it?
Again, he walked off stage again. Robert just didn't realize where he was. He has lost it. He has completely lost it. I mean, really bad.
And I guess his supporters aren't looking at any of this. They just love to go to the rallies because he's kind of a character and he says things that are just outrageous, and they love that. And it's just crazy shit that goes on at these rallies. But then I did love it when he got so angry about not having enough people at his rallies, and then the camera pans and you can see the place is pretty much vacant. There's just a few people sitting around, maybe eating something up in the top bleachers, you know. but
the majority of the places are empty. They're
yeah.
totally wasting their money, which I don't know, but Elon Musk is footing the bill for his campaign. Elon Musk recently injected $80 million into the Trump campaign. So the fact that Kamala has raised $1 billion is kind of like, okay, you know.
Well, like Elon Musk, he also wants to get in on this. He also thinks that he could take over. And I'm thinking, oh my God. I mean, Elon Musk is a genius idiot. I mean, he's just, I love what he did with Tesla. I love what he's doing with a lot of things that he's working on and putting his money into that's helpful for the whole world, but not, I can't imagine. Can you imagine Elon Musk somehow getting in the
Well, do you know what he did with that? Was it called Space Link thing? I
Yeah.
mean, he gave the citizens of Ukraine access to Space Link so that they could have internet, and then he took it away.
Oh, did he take it away? Because
took
now
it away.
he's doing the same kind of thing with the people in the southern states that have experienced this hurricane.
Yes.
He's trying
Yes.
to do something to help them there.
As soon as they pay for Space Link.
Oh.
Yeah, he said, I'll give you all free internet, but the catch is you go on, you click and click to try to get to the free thing. And he makes you buy Space Link first, and then he'll give you the internet subscription for free.
But I mean, how do they even connect with the internet in an area where they've got like 9 feet of water?
Good question. Well, I guess they could do it through their phones or something. But the thing is, I don't think Elon Musk is a good person either. I think
no, he's not. He's not.
just as horrible as Trump. And I don't think the stuff that he did with Tesla ultimately turned out to be good. 4 of the top executives, was it Tesla? Yeah, 4 of the top executives that were still left over from Tesla. Was it Tesla or X? Let me look it up before
I think it was Tesla. And what are you saying, that they left?
Yeah.
Well,
some of the original ones.
Is at least, when he put his electric car out there, he was the first person to successfully do that and get it on the market. Because prior to that, it was always so controlled. Like a GM wanted to put, or what was it? I think it was GM years ago, wanted to put the electric car out there, but they wouldn't let you buy it. They would only let you lease it. And at the time, places like California were putting up little electrical stations all over the place to help charge up your cars. And this is exactly what they should have done back then. But for some reason, it didn't pan out. There was too much control over the whole thing. They didn't like that idea. Trump is doing the same thing right now. He would like to just eliminate the electric car. That's, in his mind, is absolutely ridiculous because he's not up to date about what's going on. Eliminating the gas-powered engine is going to be the savior for climate change. And it wouldn't take that long. It would take about, let's say that everybody got an electric car right now. In 5 years, we could roll back all the pollution, all the crap, and that's about how long it would take to get back on the right track. Right now, it's going to take a lot longer than that. I'm all for electric cars. That's why I liked Elon Musk's Tesla. I know it's had a lot of problems, but at least he took and made a car that was like a luxury car and made it electric and made it viable. And so a lot of people bought that car.
But from that impetus, a lot of people have also purchased other electric cars. Other electric cars have become more popular.
All over the place. They're coming out all over the place. Everybody's got an electric car.
And charging stations. I just saw an ad from Ford last night on TV. I mean, I don't get regular TV. I'm watching like Peacock or Hulu or something like that. And there was an ad for Ford saying that if you buy an electric car, they will give you the charging station for your home and they will install it for free.
Wow. Because that's what's stopping me anyway. I don't want to get an electric car because I don't have a place to set that kind of thing up. Plus, I think it's like about $1,000 to get that thing installed.
Yeah. They're gonna give it away for free.
They've got it to where you can you take this little thing and stuck on the wall and then you plug your car into it. So yeah, I love it that that's happening and that they're getting better and better, and all the, like Chevrolet's got has always had a little electric car going on. Nissan has the Leaf electric car, and all those things, that is always going to help. But, for the longest time, I mean, it was cost prohibitive to get an electric car. And I know Ford's got an electric truck that not only can power the car or the truck, but you can hook it up and have it power your house. Now, I don't know how much, if we're just talking about a couple of refrigerators and a TV, or how
Well,
much.
but in this climate change era, that might be a huge selling point. I don't have a generator for my house. That would be really, really convenient if something happened,
Yeah, yeah.
really
And
convenient.
I see there's drawbacks there. I didn't know that about that, but yeah, there's always
What's the significance of cobalt? Is that a part of the
making
uh
the batteries, I think.
oh, is it? Okay. All right. And look at Book Bewitched at 7:52. Look at her comment.
Book Bewitched. Oh yeah, where is she? Which thing are you talking?
The one at 7:52, almost at the bottom. My son has a
Oh, well, that one was that Book. Okay,
yeah.
sorry, Book Bewitched. Took me a minute. My son has a Bolt that is a hybrid. I've lived with Zach for 3 months, and we have bought gas twice. Coolest car.
Yeah.
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 And I just love that, because when we reduce the pollution from cars, it will save a lot of things. We still have a lot of stuff to do. What we've really screwed up the oceans, and that just when I found that out, I was like, oh my God, what in the hell are we doing? That gets back to I can't remember, it's the Pacific, or God, I can't remember what it's called. But it's a dumping ground for people from a bunch of different countries, including ours. I think we've stopped doing it, but for the longest time, dumped stuff into the ocean. The current drug all this stuff around, and between the United States and Hawaii, there is a section of the ocean. It used to be the size of Texas. The last I read, it's twice the size of Texas. That is filled with plastic and garbage, and and I know that that guy that has figured out how to kind of like recycle the plastic out of the ocean with his little invention. The only thing is, he's got to take his thing and expand it way, way, way bigger. But at least there are people out there trying to do something.
Yeah, there's a group in Australia funded, I think, by the Australian government, who are also figuring out not only how to get the plastic out of the ocean and use that material for other products, but also how to I think it's called desalination of ocean water that's quite affordable and very easy to use. And they want to be able to provide that to people who suffer from a natural disaster and they need access to clean water quickly. Like people are thinking of things. They just
yeah. There's a bunch of people, and these younger people. Thank God, these kids are so smart, and they want to make a difference. But it will be
they want to live. They just want to live.
Well, it will be the younger people, though, that make a difference. I mean, when I was younger, it was drug, sex, rock and roll, give peace a chance, let's get out of Vietnam, that kind of thing. These kids coming up, and they're going way beyond that. There's just so much smarter. But I mean, not that what we were doing in the 60s wasn't a good thing to do, but so with this, we should either demand 0 point energy or move to hydrogen powered vehicles. See, I don't know enough about it. I need to look into this, because somebody else had mentioned this a long time ago about the hydrogen powered vehicles. And that, if that's a good thing, if that works, if that eliminates the pollution problem, I'm all for it, but I don't know enough about it. I mean, some of these things, like when we're talking about the Tesla, or somebody put something up here about when these things start on fire, they can't put them out. I just, there's going to be a ton of things that go wrong, but we have to go through that process in order to get it all right. I mean, it's just like, I think, I always thought Tesla moved too fast on these driving cars.
Yeah.
A few people ended up getting killed, and but they're still working on those, and like trucks. It would be kind of nice if you've got a truck going across the country to deliver stuff, that you just got one guy sitting in the cab, maybe taking a nap while the truck does all the work. I mean, I know that in our area we've got a lot of buses that are electric now, and
Oh,
that's
really? That's
yeah,
good.
that's really a good thing. So it's coming around. But if you look at Trump, Trump's is like, he's saying it on his rallies: drill, drill, drill. He wants to get more oil out of there. Well, that means he wants those people to make more money.
We're already drilling. The United States is actually the highest oil producing country on the globe right now, right
And
this
that's
second.
what I heard.
So, you don't he's like, drill, baby, drill. Like, that's a big thing. It's like, you fucking idiot. We're already doing it, and you didn't do it. Joe Biden did it.
Yeah, yeah.
You did fracking, and what they did is they came in and they tried to figure out ways to do it so that it didn't harm any any part of the environment that as much as possible. So, Trump, go sit on yourself. You just
So So anyway, what I was trying to bring up with this show is just to show everybody, and I was hoping that someday a Republican might look at this show and think about what we're talking about, that they're voting for the wrong person, because that person is not going to help them. He just wants to get in to stay out of jail. Somebody else put that up on the chat line, and that's absolutely true. It's his main thing, because he knows he is in big, big, big trouble, and yeah, he's facing jail time, prison time, some kind of incarceration. Which they're like, well, I don't know how we're going to do this with the Secret Service. They're not going to need the Secret Service when once we get past the election and he's not elected. Now his thing is get elected, get rid of all those charges against him, totally redo the Department of Justice, the Department of Education, totally eliminate Social Security and Medicare. And he does it tricky, like he goes, hey, I'm not going to touch Social Security. Well, no, we need somebody in there to help keep Social Security solvent.
yeah.
And if you don't touch it, it's going to self implode by, what is it, 2034 or something. I mean, it's pretty close. So, yeah, I mean, Trump is he's the wrong person. He always has been. I would just love to have somebody be president and not have to hear Trump's name all the time. And that after this time, that he won't be able to run again. He is definitely too old.
Oh, he's going to pass. He's going to pass in the next couple of years. He's not going to be around to run
Well,
again.
even if he doesn't, all what we'll hear about is his next legal case and stuff. But it won't be a benefit to him to get that kind of media, because he won't be running for president anymore.
Right. Right. Well, when we were talking about Elon, I did throw a couple of cards, and I just want to put everybody's mind at rest that with this latest move of him losing his executives, although he has a lot of money, although he seems like the darling of the oligarchy world right now, his company's not going to survive. It's going to implode from the inside out. It already is losing those executives. And I think, he's just going to end up being very much alone or going back to South Africa, because I don't think that he's going to be able to thrive in the US anymore.
Excuse me, I was busy reading stuff. Who are you talking about?
Elon Musk and Tesla.
Elon Musk, that's what I thought.
Tesla is going to kind of flatline.
But Elon Musk is like supposedly the richest man in the world.
Yes, he is.
So
he's not the richest man in the world, but he's very, very, very rich. And the thing is, though, he did really lose massive amounts of money on X. He's losing he's putting massive amounts of money into DJT, although he said he was going to be putting $45 million a month into DJT. And then he backed off of that and just gave him a lump sum of 80 million. He's losing lots of money on Tesla because of all these cars failing. And his Starlink thing is getting a lot of bad press. So he's probably going to end up losing money on that. And he also has lawsuits pending for wasn't he behind the thing that went down in the ocean and all those people died, that kind of
Oh, the
iron
submarine
mobile?
thing?
Is that him?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Well, or did he do a space thing?
Well, he probably did a space thing. He's done a
Yeah, and
lot of
people
space.
died with that too, I think. So,
I think he wants to send people to Mars and stuff.
yes, yes. And he's not gonna win. He's not gonna have a really great 2025.
Well, that's a surprise because even though with all his, he doesn't mind having great losses because he knows in the end he's going to make great fortunes, and that's kind of always been his pattern.
Mm-hmm.
But it could turn out to be a little bit different now.
A
I
little bit
don't know.
different.
But he would like to be part of the White House, and I'm thinking, oh, that would just be terrible. Just be terrible.
Well, maybe he has a connection to JD Vance and Peter Thiel himself. It wouldn't surprise me because
Oh
Peter
yeah.
Thiel runs in those circles. So, maybe this is all kind of a pincer move on Trump from, Elon on the one side and Peter Thiel and Heritage Foundation on the other. And they just kind of surround him until Trump is powerless or gone.
I hope so. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to do this show just to bring up some of the past, which some of the past is bizarre enough, and it just has gotten worse and worse and worse. The lies have gotten worse. The attacks on people have gotten worse. The things he says about Kamala Harris is just so outrageous. I just find it
And ugly.
just disgusting that he
Yeah.
should say such
Yeah.
things. And then also the stuff about Biden. And then the other thing that's disgusting is he's got all his little Republican buddies backing him up with that. They are saying the exact same things. They are in total support of him, of the lies. And this is so dangerous to our democracy to have a group of people in power that could possibly destroy our democracy. It's just crazy. There's no way you can run a country based on lies, and that's what he did for 4 years, and that's what he did for another 3.5 years. That's what he will always do. That's what he's done in all his businesses. Again, that is why he is in so much trouble, because it's all because he lied about things. So again, we're getting very close. What was it, 23 days till election day?
Yeah.
We're all on we all got high hopes, and based on what's going on, I mean, I've always seen a landslide for I didn't see I know originally it was a landslide for Biden, but the way it's turned around now for sure it's a landslide for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and because that's what it has to be. It just can't be any other way.
Well, and I had a kind of scary moment today. I was remembering what it felt like when Trump won in 2016. And I just went, "Oh my God, is there more that I can do to make sure that he doesn't get elected again?" Because that was the most horrible time I've ever felt in my life.
Well, I'm right there with you because we were calling each other.
Yes. I
You
was
know,
crying. I was so upset for
I
days.
I was in disbelief.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
knew that all the stuff they were saying about Hillary Clinton was a lie, but there
Yeah.
was people that believed it. So I see that same, you can't. I have post-traumatic stress disorder from that election. I mean, I have never been able to let go of that. I'm so worried that they're going to try to pull that same crap on Kamala Harris. I mean, it just hopefully that doesn't happen, and they're not saying that they're going to accept the results. They're saying if it's a fair and legal election.
It's the same shit they said last when he was in 2016. It's the same shit.
Yeah,
They're just doing the same playbook. That's the thing with these morons is they have their little playbook and they do everything along the playbook. And it's like, dude, that did not work last time. So that is not going to work this time. But oh, he's annoying. He's so annoying. Just take all the sharp objects away from these people. Just God.
so anyway, I hope that everybody is. I mean, I don't have to tell the chatters to vote blue. They're already with us. They've been with us for the last 2 years, most of them, and they know more about this than I do, and
Mhm.
they're. I really appreciate that kind of support from these people because
Mhm.
it is a crazy time, and I wasn't kidding about post traumatic stress disorder from an
No, I
election.
know. I know.
I mean, and I'm not the only one. I know millions of people have experienced it, and they're just so worried, um, that the Trump could possibly get back in there. And I'm thinking, how? That's why I'm saying for this show, why would anybody vote for Trump?
Well, maybe not that many people are voting for Trump, but the only way he could get back in there is if he has help, cheating help, and I I think they're on it. I think they are so on it. The secretaries of state, they're on it. I think the FBI is on it. I think the Biden administration has dispatched the DOJ to be on it. I think everybody is on it, on it, on it. I
Yeah,
really do. I gotta believe that. Otherwise, I'm moving to Panama.
right, right. Well, no, I do. I think you're right. I think that they are on top of this. There's going to be election interference, but I think that there's going to be a whole bunch of people there to stop it from happening. I think, that Trump is going to cause, and Republicans, I keep saying Trump, it's now all the Republicans that support him. I'm talking politicians that
Mhm,
support him,
mhm.
that they will lie and cheat just like he does and do everything they can
Yep,
to change the thing.
they will.
Everybody else, and like we've been saying for a long, long time, it's going to be Democrat up and down the line. Democrat Senate, Democratic House,
I
and
voted. I voted blue all the way down the line, mailed in my ballot. Actually, I didn't mail in my ballot. I went and I put it in
the
the
drop
drop
box.
box for my town.
Oh, you've already done your voting.
Oh
Cool.
yeah, I did it last week. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I got it week before last and I just didn't it was well when the fair was still going on. As soon as the fair was done, filled it out, drove it there.
Cool. Well, we haven't in Washington State. We haven't gotten our ballots yet, but we did get the little thing, the voters pamphlet. And by the
Mhm.
way, for anybody that might be in Washington State, vote for Bob Ferguson for governor. Uh, Reichert is the biggest mistake we could ever. I don't even. He's not qualified to be a governor, and plus he just he's so Republican. He will destroy the. Washington's. It's legal to have abortions here, and that guy will destroy that along with everything else. He just.
Mhm.
I don't know why he's running. I can't believe he's running. But anyway, that's all we've got for you guys today.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody showing up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, really nice. I haven't been on with politics in America much for the last couple months, and I blame that on Colleen because she was gone and she wasn't doing anything. I tried to do a couple of shows, but it really, uh, yeah, it's better when I have somebody to work with. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Oh, before you go, can I plug the show on Thursday?
sure.
So Thursday, October 17th at 7:30 p.m., Sherry is going to be with me. We are going to be running a prayers and meditation for healing and recovery for the people of North Carolina and Florida. And if you want to tune in and join with that, the meditation itself will be short. I hope the show is only about a 30-minute show. I don't want it to go too long, but it's really, really powerful when groups of people do prayers and meditations together. So, and even if you can't make it on Thursday, if you watch the replay and also go through the meditation, it's very, very helpful. these people are just really suffering, and we need to help them in any way that we can. And since we're all most of us are at a distance from that, we can do it remotely by doing a meditation and saying some prayers for them. So please join me Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. With Sherry and a few other people. I've invited a few other people to come too. Cleo might even be there.
Well, that sounds like a great show. I'm glad you guys are doing that. I don't know if I've got another show scheduled that day, but also both Colleen and I are going to be on the Mystic Four tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. That's personal readings, and I hope you guys can stop by for that too. Anyway, thanks again, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Go blue.